Okay, we're back. Going to talk about Super Bowl 57. What do you think, Zach?
Um, Commercials suck. Used to be used to be like a big uh occasion, like something you looked forward to watching the Super Bowl. Um, Not really like that now, which kind of sucks. The commercials aren't funny. They don't have some uh thing that's like not politically correct. People don't like to push each other's buttons anymore, so it's not as fun to watch. Um Rihanna overrated. Wasn't the biggest fan of that. But the actual game, uh, the Eagles, they did really well. Jalen Hurts he's balling out. He really was. He had 4 touchdowns, I think. He could have won the MVP and they didn't even win the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they were dominating. The Chiefs first half, they didn't do anything. They had the 1 touchdown and then they had a scoop and score. They only had one offensive score in the first half. They got shut down completely.
That was on that first drive too.
Yeah, both teams went right down the field.
Yeah, yeah.
So um, they had them where they wanted them, and they just kind of got complacent. I don't know how that happens in the Super Bowl, how they kind of fell asleep like that, because they could have won that game by 20 points.
Yeah, it's interesting in how I think I mentioned this to you the other day, or maybe I sent it to Kevin about how it seems like the Chiefs are running up tempo, but when you look at the play clock, they don't snap the ball until there's like 5 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah, I
So,
think
yeah,
so. What we used to do when I played is like you vary the tempo. So sometimes you go fast, you go really fast. Then other times you get lined up really fast. And then, our coordinator in the press box, he'll look down and see the look that they're giving us and see if we want to run like a different play compared to what we called. So
yeah.
sometimes we would get into our formation and not have a play called till there's like 15 seconds on the clock. Um, so that's what it is a lot of the time. And you know how the NFL they cut the mics to the quarterbacks with like I think 15 seconds left. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, it's up to the QB. If the QB wants to throw that play away, he can at second 14. But um, yeah, the Eagles really fell apart. They had the best O line. Um, they did really well. They were doing whatever they wanted in the first half. Second half, I don't know what happened. But you had Patrick Mahomes wobbling around out there and he still dominated that second half. The second half was complete domination by the Chiefs. They didn't let up at all. And the 2 touchdowns they had with those wide open guys, they said it was that the Eagles defense doesn't adjust to motion,
Hmm.
which blows my mind because they're running more like zone kind of stuff. So you
Yeah.
just stay where you are and that's your area. But, they motion these guys and there's no one there to cover them. I think their last 2 touchdowns,
Yeah,
there's
those
no one
two those
within.
two short touchdowns. Yeah,
Yeah.
both plays the wide receiver went in motion to right there outside the tackle box, and then at the snap of the ball, he just went back around
Yeah.
outside, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And
That's embarrassing.
I I don't remember seeing two plays like that in the game at that high a level. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
It's a Super Bowl. And how do you not adjust to that? Yeah, you just got
Yeah,
embarrassed
yeah,
and you let it happen again. And that was bad.
yeah. It wasn't one of
And
those things where Mahomes was running around or he made some kind of crazy sidearm pass. It was just a totally busted coverage on defense for both plays.
yeah, that was embarrassing. That was
Yeah.
really bad. Um, no, we're Cowboys fans. You're supposed to hate the Eagles. I don't really feel that way. I was kind of, I was hoping Jalen Hurts would win.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
I just one thing about the Eagles, my grandfather, he is from suburb of Philadelphia called Chester, Pennsylvania. Huge Eagles fan. We buried him in a Philadelphia Eagles sweater, and he would have loved the championship back in '17 when they beat New England, and
Yeah.
I know he would have been happy with that, and boy, they were so close. So, Eagles and Cowboys, they're in the same division. We're supposed to hate the Eagles. I don't hate them
Yeah.
at all.
No, I
Um,
don't. I don't really hate anybody in the NFL. I used to hate Tom Brady, but after a while, you kind of understand, like, hey, man, there's not going to be a guy that wins like this for a long time, if ever.
if ever, yeah.
So I learned to just appreciate him, and um, you just can't count him out. I counted out Patrick Mahomes. I had the Eagles by 16 in that game, and it
Yeah,
was
you
looking that.
you owe me something for that one.
Yeah, I know. But I was looking that way to start. It really was. They looked pretty good. Um, coming out, but it's a 4-quarter game. You
Mhm.
can't. You can win 3 quarters of the game and still lose. It doesn't matter. You have to
Yeah.
win. You have to finish it out. But yeah, I mean, Chiefs found a way to get more points than the other team, and normally that helps you win. So,
Yeah. What did you think about the last sequence of plays there?
I, I think the holding was bad. I think everyone can agree, even if you're a Chiefs fan, that was pretty bad.
In
Um,
that situation?
well, okay, so that there's a lot to that because it's the Super Bowl. I don't remember if it was like over 2 minutes or under two, but not much time left. And the way they called that game all 60 minutes wasn't like that. They were letting them play.
Yeah.
Um, which I appreciate. But for them to call that down as far as they were in the field with so much on the line and little time left, and how they called the game, that was just crazy to me that they threw that flag. And then I hate, I get the idea of wanting to run the clock out, but seeing the wide open end zone and then sliding down to run the clock out, I hate that. I really do. Because if you get a touchdown, well, you get the touchdown, but the other team has to go down and get 6,
Mhm.
instead of, run it down, kick field goal, make them have to make, a big play, and they might have time for 2 plays or whatever. I get that. But if you go down, you score, you're up by 7, there's a minute left or so. They have to go down and they can't settle for 3. They have to get a touchdown. I hate that.
There's
And
all
then
kind of, yeah.
the Hail Mary, like he got hit and
Well,
didn't go very far.
I just think on that play, I think there were 7 seconds left. They were at their own 35-yard line. Obviously, the Chiefs were way, way, way back. It's easy for me to say, but I think what I would have tried to do on that one is try to get 15 yards to the outside. They probably could have done that.
Yeah.
Get it down there, and then you have a realistic shot of getting the ball in the end zone. And keep in mind, Jalen, he had that shoulder sprain. In the playoffs, he didn't throw a pass more than, I think his longest pass in the air was 45 yards.
Yeah.
So we don't know how far he could have thrown the ball. He definitely wasn't throwing it 70 yards.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree. And at that point, everyone's hurt at the end of the season. Everybody. And most of those guys in the NFL, they have a surgery as soon as the year's over, or
Mhm.
the day after or the Super Bowl, or if they have the parade, then after that they will.
Yeah.
But um, everyone's busted up really bad. That's what happened to the Chiefs a few years ago. That's why I thought the Eagles were going to win, because when the Chiefs lost to the Bucs, they were really dinged up.
Yeah, the offensive
Um,
line that was totally decimated for that game.
I think, yeah, wasn't it just the one starter was
Yeah.
playing on their
Yeah,
O-line?
one
Yeah,
of the guards, I don't remember which one. One of the guards was playing. The other
yeah,
4 starters are out, and uh, who was that? I mean, Jason Pierre-Paul from the outside, and then one of the Shaqs. I don't remember if it was Shaq
Yeah,
Lawson or Shaq Barrett on the other
yeah.
defensive end. Just at the snap of the ball, they were in Mahomes' face. And
Mahomes was making crazy plays all game because he was running for his life back
yeah,
there. But yeah, I thought that was gonna be why the Eagles won by so much because they're everyone's hurt, everyone has something wrong, but they didn't have guys out.
yeah.
Like the Chiefs had a lot of guys out that weren't playing at all. I don't think Valdez Scantling played in the Super Bowl, and he was the guy that cooked the Bengals really
Oh,
bad.
it was Miko Hartman. He was out.
Was it him? It was
It
one of
was
those
him. Yeah,
guys. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
I mixed those guys up. Um, but yeah, I thought they were gonna win because of that, and then Jalen Hurts, I just thought he'd willed them.
Oh, he
Kind of,
did.
he's
You know,
well, if he wasn't playing, they would have lost by 30 points. That guy,
probably.
that guy. I mean, they have good pieces around him, but you throw I don't know Ryan Tannehill in that offense, and they score 10 points.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm one of those people that thinks that going back to Jalen Hurts' time when he transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma that year at Oklahoma, 12-2,
yeah,
Peach Bowl, college football playoff. Uh, the dude deserves a statue alongside
oh yeah,
Kyler and Baker and those guys. I know he was second in the Heisman voting, but gosh, that guy, he's incredible. And just the things before the game, they're interviewing him, the way that he goes about himself, the way his coach was talking about him, how he prepares the same way. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. After on the sideline, after that fumble return for the touchdown, there he was going to every single player in the offense. We got this, we got this. It's on me. It's over. We got this. And they were up. That happened, but they were still up 24-14 at the half,
yeah.
and everything was pointing towards the an Eagles victory because that last play Mahomes had in the first half, he was hobbled horribly.
Yeah, well, that's where vitamin T comes in. Toradol. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It never happened with guys I played with because we were in high school. So it's not that serious. But in college, when Justin Fields took that shot against Clemson
Mhm.
and he's busted up, yeah, vitamin T was definitely a part of that. They definitely shot Mahomes up with some stuff throughout the playoffs to get him back out there.
You
Because
know
even
what?
on that, what are you saying?
You know what the craziest thing about all that is?
Hmm,
The next day, he was at Disneyland with his wife. Did you see
yeah.
that? When you're at
Uh,
Disneyland, you're walking 25, 30,000 steps. So I guess that vitamin D was still lingering.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's not like that anymore, but they used to in college. Um, before a game, like Friday, they give you, you line up and they give you a shot of that stuff before the game. And they don't do that anymore. But
Yeah.
um they, the trainers, the equipment people, they sneak things in the stadium that you might not be able to have. And some drugs or well, not drugs, but pills. I'm not talking about them. They're smoking weed in the locker room, but give them something that'll ease it for a little bit for another hour and a half, 2 hours, and
Yeah.
deal with it after the game.
Yeah.
But
I don't have any idea what the rules are. You hear oftentimes that like the sideline reporter will say, "Oh, so and so had a cortisone shot at the halftime" or something like that.
well, I really appreciate the NFL and college football, what they do with their announcers because they're guys that played at that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Like I love college. I love listening to Dusty talk and
Mhm.
um guys like that. Kirk Herbstreit, he's grown on me. I didn't used to like Kirk very much, but he's grown on me a lot.
I
You
thought
know,
he
just
did a good job with Al Michaels on Amazon this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Greg Olson, like Tony Romo, people dump on Tony Romo. I don't know why, but I just love the insight because those guys were playing for a long time and
Oh yeah.
they understand. They've been there. So you know, average person, we don't know what happens in the locker room and what happens down on the field, how the plays get called, but they give us a idea of what's going on. I really like that. And then I like the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if you watch NFL films
I love
ever.
NFL films, man.
Yeah,
Those are just awesome shows.
those are the best, probably like sports. I don't know if you call it a documentary thing or just a
Yeah, yeah.
show, but um I love watching those. It's great to hear the guys talk. I like when they're mic'd up and stuff. I don't know if you
Mhm.
ever watched Chad Ochocinco talking crap to people on the sidelines. It's hilarious.
Well, even during the Super Bowl, they had Patrick Mahomes mic'd up, and they were showing after he was hobbled right there, that tackle right before the end of the first half,
Yeah,
and he's just over on the sidelines screaming.
yeah.
The camera panned to him. He's got his hands over his heads like that. Uh, and the trainers were coming to him. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Leave me alone. Um, like, okay. And there's some stuff like that. I don't know if it's on the NFL films, but stuff like that you hear about Jalen Hurts. Like when he took a big hit in the playoff game. Was that versus the Giants? I don't remember who they played.
I think it was either the Giants. I know they played San Francisco.
They beat the
I
crap
can't.
out of San Francisco, but it was the divisional round.
Yeah, it probably was the Giants
I think
then.
it's the Giants. He took a hit and he landed on his throwing shoulder, and the one of the offensive linemen came over there, and they saw that he was wincing, and they told him to stay down. And Jalen Hurts said something like, "Help me the f up, get me the f up." And
Yeah,
he got up and went to the sidelines, and that was it. The lineman said, "Yes, sir." So that's the kind of respect that this 24-year-old
yeah.
he draws. Um,
I just appreciate guys like that because there's not necessarily in football. They're normally tougher, but NBA, you have like a sore ring finger or something, you're out for 2 weeks. Crazy stuff like that.
well, there
Uh,
was some years back. There's a baseball player that had a repetitive motion injury strain on his PlayStation gaming. Uh, so he like hurt his thumb,
mm,
and he was out for 5 games or something like that.
yeah, it's just
Pretty
it's
wild.
silly. That's all there is. But yeah, those guys, people don't think about it because they only, they watch and like, oh, that guy, he's hurt. He got carted off the field. He's got to have surgery. But no, it's everybody. And everyone's so hurt and so banged up. You're just kind of trying to make it to the
Mhm.
end of the year. Like, the big goal is always to win the whole thing, but just staying healthy so you can play. Such a big deal after like week 4, week 5.
Yeah.
Um, and then you get into October and November, everybody's hurt. Everyone. And it just gets worse and worse. And, it's wearing on your body really bad. That's why the off season is so long. Because a lot of those guys, they don't get back to working out and stuff for a month or 2
Yeah. Yeah.
or so because they had surgery or rehab stuff. But it was a good game. It was a good football season. It really was. Didn't like the zebras getting too involved. There was definitely some games. I'm not saying it won or lost anyone a game because it never does.
Mm.
But they get too involved. They put their stamp on things. It kind of sucks when the game slows down too much because they're throwing a flag every play. That was my complaint with the NFL this year. Um, wasn't the biggest fan of that. Besides that, it was high level, and you didn't know he was going to win. I think, some you might think I'm dumb, but I feel like a lot of the teams sucked this year, but somebody had to win.
There was a
You
whole
know?
bunch of kind of weird stuff this year. Like, I'm not a Minnesota Vikings fan, but the Vikings won 13 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I got the impression that any day they could go out there and get beat by 50 points.
Oh
And I
yeah,
mean, they got destroyed a couple games, but they won
yeah. They got
13. It doesn't make any
yeah
sense.
they got waxed by the Packers in Dallas, but
Yeah.
I remember like 10 of those 9 or 10 of those games they won. If one play goes the other way, then they lose that game.
Yeah, they won like 11 of their wins were one score games, something
I
insane
think
like that.
I think their plus minus was negative, and they
Yeah,
were
they
13 and
were.
4. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
just that's crazy, insane.
doesn't yeah it they were. I just knew they were frauds all year, and it was the funniest thing seeing the Giants beat them.
Mhm.
Because I didn't want that to live on for another week. Those guys, man. I mean, Kirk Cousins is, I don't know what to think of that guy.
He's a $35 million a year game manager.
Yeah, they just throw money at you now if you play QB.
Hey, look, I would be happy to be a 6'5" uh backup quarterback in the NFL right now, or heck, even a below average starter in the NFL. If
Yeah,
you're anything except on a rookie contract, you're making some serious bank out there.
I mean Brock Purdy, that
Don't
guy, he got,
respect,
I mean,
respect.
he got too much love though. He really did. Because, um, Jimmy G took that team to the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty sure just about anybody can take them pretty far.
I really don't
Um,
understand why Jimmy G gets so much hate.
I don't either, but I'm just saying, like he's not some generational stud quarterback or anything. He's not.
No.
But they find a way to win
Yeah,
with that
it's
team.
very impressive, and I think that's a tribute to the coaching staff and old Kyle Shanahan.
Mhm.
Um, just more than any other team I could think of in the NFL, they played to their strengths, which is to get the ball to guys like Samuel and Kittle and McCaffrey and uh but when they were down to their what were they their fourth string quarterback and
Yeah, Josh
Purdy
Johnson.
Purdy had that ulnar ligament injury and he couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah,
He's got I think I read he's going to be out 6 months for that after surgery.
you might never play again.
Yeah.
Like actually, like meaningful
No, I mean it's
anything.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's similar to the Tommy John surgery that
yeah.
is prevalent in Major League Baseball for pitchers, but um, I don't know. It was, yeah, it was a good season. It was one of the best NFL seasons in recent memory. Um, we don't have the Tom Brady factor anymore. I don't think. Seems like he's
I
gone for good.
yeah. I I could just tell when they played Dallas. Um, something was off with him. I think he knew that, that was it. And he didn't know if they really had much of a chance. But he was just so off that game. And, he's making solid passes, but guys were just dropping them. And that was just, it
Yeah,
was at home too, 8 and 9 Bucks. I think they were 8 and 9.
yeah, yeah. That's NFL rules.
Yeah, hosting a
Yeah,
playoff game. That was crazy. But uh, I, you know, I don't know if it's as big of a deal to you, but um, all the guys I grew up watching, they're gone. Drew Brees is gone, Peyton Manning's gone. Um, Tom Brady is gone now. I never cared for him, but Philip Rivers, like these guys aren't there, and that's that's who I grew up watching. And
Yeah,
it's kind of weird seeing that.
the only one that's left is Aaron Rodgers. Don't know what he's going to do. He's
Yeah,
on some darkness retreat.
I
Yeah,
heard about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
When I was
yeah,
driving to work Friday morning, I listened to ESPN radio, and they had some guy who runs these darkness retreats. Not that one, but he was talking about what they did.
yeah.
And I mean, you literally go into this room and it's like 300 square feet. There's other people there, and it's dark. They have a bathroom, they have a shower, they have a place where you can eat, but it's just you're closing yourself off from the rest of the world. And it's supposed to be some kind of mind reset. And I don't get it. Not my cup of tea. I'm not going to go sit in the dark for 4 days.
No,
But if you think about this, Aaron Rodgers, he's a guy has decent mobility, but I think he's 39 this year. Brady, 45 years old, 23 years in the league. He was never a mobile guy, but he used his feet really well. He could step in the pocket. He had that sidestep thing he did all the time. We're not going to see dudes like that again.
yeah,
And
that's true.
it's interesting when you look at the quarterbacks now, take away Aaron Rodgers, then you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, you got Herbert, you got Lamar, um, you got Jalen Hurts. All these guys are mobile and they use their legs. So um, Russ Wilson, who's only 33 years old, is a guy that's mobile and used his legs, and it's already seeming like maybe he's on the downswing of his career.
Yeah,
So it's very likely that when a guy gets to 10, 12 years, that might be the max. Where I don't think we're going to see these long term guys again.
no, and I think that's to do with the skill level on every position going higher. You have the 6'5", 320-pound D tackles that'll chase down a receiver. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But I think what kept guys like Peyton Manning and Brady around is they were in the pocket most of the time. They
yeah.
weren't running out and sliding or getting their legs caught or stuff like that. Um,
It's just
it's
going to be
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long guys last because all the off-season talk last year is about Lamar Jackson and then is he going to sign the big contract? And he didn't. He signed the 1 year deal. And I don't like to get into the economics of the NFL because the money is just insane, but he's been hurt the last 2 seasons. So, if you're the owner of an NFL team, do you want to commit 250 or $300 million to a guy who has been injured like that? It's just they're decisions I'm glad I don't have to make. I'll just kind of do that. And look,
Yeah.
the Eagles, think about this, Jalen. Jalen just finished his 3rd year, so he's eligible for that contract extension. And for an NFL starter, that's going to be $35-40 million a year.
Yeah. I just don't know how to feel about guys that haven't done anything for you recently. I get Lamar, he won the MVP and stuff like that. He's really a good player, and I've enjoyed watching him since he was at Louisville and
Yeah.
now at the Ravens. But dude was hurt. You don't give a guy this huge contract after he hasn't even played for you, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And if he's expecting that, he can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to have a stud at QB that was really good for us, but he doesn't play for a couple years and he's still demanding all this money. I think that's just crazy to me.
Well,
I'd rather,
Joe Burrow's in the same boat as Jalen Hurts is, and just I don't know. It's hard to think about a guy like Tom Brady for many years in New England. He took a pay cut.
Yeah,
He never took the top market value for his position, and that allowed them to keep guys like Gronk, uh, to re-sign, um, a offensive tackle, to bring in some depth for the offensive line, and that's one of the reasons why they were so successful all those years, and why he was able to stay in the career for such a long time, because they had that depth up front.
these guys that are taking these crazy contracts, besides Mahomes, like Mahomes is just ridiculous, but um, the guys chasing that money, they aren't the guys that win. They're not. It's the guys that are focused on winning. And as you said with Brady, like he wasn't worried about making 50 million a year. He's worried about winning the shiny trophy. So
Yeah.
he thought, if I can get some better players in here, I can take less money and we're going to go win.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of like Lamar Jackson, he's never going to win a Super Bowl. He's not. But take these huge contracts and take up, a fraction of the salary cap. It kind of puts you in a hole.
Yeah.
Actually, it really does, because you can't go out and get all the pieces that you need to win. So the teams that win are the teams that have the guys that are willing to give up a little bit, and it pays off.
Yeah, either that or you got a bunch of guys that are still on their rookie deal.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Bengals last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burrow and Chase and Higgins still.
Mhm.
Those guys are,
Bunch of guys on defense too.
yeah, I mean, those guys
Yeah.
are fun to watch. They're really fun to watch, but they might not be together this time in 2 years,
Yeah, that's right. Well,
which is
hey,
crazy.
we're about out of time here, so I'm gonna stop recording, okay?
All right.
Okay.